Hello and welcome to Work Like a Girl, where we feature interesting women doing interesting work. My name is Angela Champ, and today I'm speaking with Kathy Price, who is a Journeyman Partsman. Welcome, Kathy.
Thanks.
So tell me exactly, what is a Journeyman Partsman?
So basically what I do is I work for an equipment dealer, and it's my job to ensure that we get the right parts for our service department, for customers out of town that are calling in the orders, and customers that come into the shop just to purchase parts to repair their equipment.
And so the fact that you're a journeyman means that you're certified. What's involved in getting that certification?
Basically, a journeyman parts person is just like a mechanic or an electrician. You have to go to school and do your formal training, and you have to do your practical hours. So the first year is 8 weeks, and then it's 6 weeks and 6 weeks, and then so many hours per year to get qualified for that certificate.
Okay, so what was it about that trade specifically that attracted you to it?
When I was still in high school, I had no direction of what I really wanted to do with my future. So I've always heard, if you go get a trade, you always have something to fall back on.
True.
I love heavy equipment. Automotive just isn't for me, but I love being around big equipment, big trucks and that. So my first initial thought was, I can be a heavy-duty mechanic. Let's be real. I can't lift some of that stuff. So I like dealing with people, and I'm like, well, how about parts? So I get the best of both worlds. I get to deal with people, solve their problems, and I get to still be in the shop, around the equipment, learning, seeing the new things. So it just kind of fit. And once I got into it, I never left.
Oh, that's fantastic. Sounds like it is the best of both worlds. So what is it that you love most about your role, and what would you change if you could?
I love the people. I love what I do. I can honestly say every morning I love getting up, going to work. We always have bad days. Sometimes when it's really busy, stressful, or busy time of year, it's like you feel a little stretched. But there's really not a lot I would change. I look at myself as a problem solver, so I have this little niche that people call me when they have oddball stuff. So it's a challenge. It's always the challenge of finding something, getting it right, and getting equipment back up. There's not really a lot I wouldn't change about it. I mean, I work in an industry that's seasonal, so sometimes we have ups and downs.
Okay.
But for the most part, I just love it.
Oh, there aren't a lot of people who have so little they would want to change about the world, so that's fantastic. So I introduced you as a journeyman partsman, and I'm wondering whether even the terminology that's used in trades might put off more women from getting into it. So journeyman, partsman. Do you think that the language is off-putting for people, or not at all?
I think some people get put off by the terminology because of the feminist movement that, we can't be described as men, women, as a person. And I believe that the new terminology is actually parts person.
Okay.
On the new certificates, but mine says partsman.
Okay. So it's changing and reflecting more women getting into the workforce.
Yeah, as a person
Other traits.
opposed to male or female.
Right.
They're omitting the gender roles.
Okay, really good. What is the secret to getting more women involved in the trades?
I think it's a lot of them just being exposed. The industry has changed. You see more women doing automotive, they're doing mechanics, they're learning about their own vehicles. So I believe it's opening up those doors and exposing them to different things. It's not like back in the 70s, 60s where, women had the kids, they stayed home, they worked in an office. I think it's just the general exposure to
Right.
the different roles and different careers that are out there and available.
Right. So now you've had a good career, you had some schooling, you've been working for a while. Looking back, what advice would you have for 15-year-old you?
My biggest thing, I think, is being more confident in myself. As coming up in this trade, and of course part of it being female where you're dominated by a lot of males, is that I lack the confidence to say, no, this is it. I would always second guess, and I would always want that confirmation that I'm doing it right or that I'm right. And I think it's just our nature that we always want the approval of everybody. So I think it's to change the mindset that you don't need that approval, that you know your job, and therefore you can do your job and be more confident.
That's really good advice for 15-year-old Kathy and for everybody else out there too, not just the 15-year-olds. Part of the video series is really to inspire and educate women, teachers, career counselors, and parents on the various career opportunities that are out there. So in the spirit of education, are there any nonfiction books that you like to gift or recommend to people?
Yeah, there's actually quite a few that I've read actually in the last year. You Are a Badass by Jen Sincero.
I just saw that in the store.
Yeah, it's a really good one. It's just, to believe in yourself. The Slight Edge by Jeff Olson is also another really good favorite of mine that I read just this past summer.
Oh, awesome. Very good recommendations. Any other ones?
I could probably go on with the list, but those are my two favorite that I can think of at the moment.
That's great. Well, we'll have to look those up. Thank you so much for joining us on Work Like a Girl. I really appreciate it.
No problem. Thank you.
Thanks, and we'll see you again next time.